I went to a few of your loft parties, I'm pretty sure. And in Philly, by the way, do you still keep your flyers? Do you have all that memorabilia from back
absolutely.
then?
Yeah,
so
we got a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I'm so jealous that you did that. So you knew about archiving back when it was a thing.
I knew that something was interesting.
We lost a lot of stuff in a flood.
Yeah.
But there's still like a nice 5x5 box in Joel's closet, in Joel's garage.
Yeah.
With like just rave flyers from the 90s.
Man, I'm jealous. I threw so many parties in Atlanta and New York, and I didn't have any of the flyers saved.
We always kept at least one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like that's kind of led to, so after EMI, you went to where?
That was a short-lived job, by the way. I was not happy there.
Yeah, no? Okay.
I mean, it was corporate culture to the max.
Right, and you just left the corporate radio station. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm very DIY. I'm very grassroots. I was amazed by you, Jason, because I didn't know how you were able to do that and maintain and
didn't become my life. It was a job. You know, I showed up. I was still the same kid when I left the building. I was still the same kid when I entered the building. I knew how to deal with people with respect and concern and listen to them. Even if I listen to them, it doesn't mean that I'm going to do what they asked me to do.
Well,
right?
You know,
I had some. I would nod and do something else.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you faked it really well. Because I didn't.
Yeah.
So I basically got
my disdain for the system was never that obvious.
Yeah.
You know, I made it work for me.
Yeah. Well, I got fired.
Yeah. Okay.
That seems to be a prevalent theme.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but firing leads to new opportunity.
No shame in saying right up front being fired. There's no shame in that. No shame in failure. No shame in being fired.
I agree with that.
I mean, come on,
Builds
let
character.
go, whatever. Let go, fired, same
Builds
shit.
character.
Yes,
Made
it
redundant.
Does. Yes, it does. So I was freaking.
Yeah.
Because remember, I had left Atlanta.
And you just moved to New York, and you're paying New York rent, and like, you know.
I was a local celebrity in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, radio DJ, party promoter, publicist in a smaller pond.
Right.
So everyone's like, oh man, you're going to come back to Atlanta, right? And I was like, no. Hells to the no.
Yeah, so we used to joke that Philadelphia was the penalty box for New York. Like when the people came to New York and like failed, it'd be like, go back to Philly.
But Philly at least was cool back then.
Philly's always been cool.
Yeah. ATL. Well, listen, I love ATL. ATL. Hot Atlanta, as they say.
Hot Atlanta.
Hotter than here, by the way.
That's absolutely true.
Temperature-wise. So it was short-lived there. So I was like, what the frick am I going to do? Because I needed the money. Of
course.
So I basically took the first job given to me, offered to me, and I wasn't that keen, but like you did with your corporate culture places, you do what you got to do.
Sure.
And I took it. And Mike Studo, got to give him props. Remember Mike
great.
Studo?
Brownies.
He was the one that basically told me about this position. And he said, listen, it's a startup label. It's a guy from Wall Street. He wanted to be a musician for years. It didn't work out. Ray McKenzie. Go meet with him. I told him about you. He's looking for a publicist. Nicole Blackman was kind of on her way out. She was doing spoken word, and her career was really taking off.
Okay.
I think Trent Reznor at the time had discovered her or whatever.
Okay.
Was really into her as well. So her books, everything was taking off for Nicole. So Nicole was like, I'm leaving. Boom. So I did the interview. I'd never really done national PR, but I talked my way in.
Yeah.
And, I know how to charm people. I know how to say the right things.
Sure.
Somewhat most of the time.
That's how you got here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how this happened today.
I schmooze where I need to. And I got the gig. Yeah. And, I wasn't ecstatic at the time because it was a label that really didn't have a lot of cool stuff.
Right.
It became cool as the years went on.
Yeah, I remember.
But I stayed there for 6 years, and bless him, Ray gave me everything.
Amazing.
Ray allowed me to travel to Mid-Am, allowed me to travel and see bands in Seattle. If I said, hey, I want to check out this band, even if I was doing PR, just to go and see a band or tell them, how they were live or go on the road with my bands. Basically, Ray was just go and do what you want to do.
Amazing.
But I
good
worked.
bosses empower you.
Exactly. It was incredible. And I learned as I went. Nicole Blackman gave me her database. Big up Nicole, because I didn't have a database, a PR database, or the media contacts.
Right.
And I basically did a bunch of cold calling because we didn't have the internet.
Right.
Imagine that. This is end of 94, 95.
Sure.
Cold calling, handwritten letters, going to the mail room and posting them. And finally got my way into...
Shipping a lot of CDs.
Shipping a lot of CDs, shipping a lot of vinyl.
Yeah.
And eventually put 0 Hour on the map.
That's amazing.
I mean, to the point, without tooting my own horn, to the point where like major labels were saying, who's that publicist at Zero Hour? She's getting more press for that indie startup than we're getting on our majors.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
So it was cool. It was great. Yeah.
That's great. And then from Zero Hour, after the 6-year career there, where'd you go from there?
Well, yeah, so it's interesting. So, I'll just shout out some of the bands on Zero Hour. Swerve Driver.
Yeah, I remember
The No Twist.
Yep.
Space Needle, Varnaline, John Wesley Harding, Steve Wynn. So I was getting press for all of those fabulous bands.
Right.
Really great press.
Right.
So at the time, Daniel Glass pops up.
Again?
In my life again.
Wow.
Yeah. And he called me and said, hey, I'm doing this new venture with Doug Morris.
This is Artemis?
Called Rising Tide. I said, Daniel, you need to check out what we're doing at Zero Hour. We've got some cool stuff. And I think if you're looking to acquire and join ventures with other record companies, startups, and indies, I think you need to come over here.
Sure.
So Daniel got excited. He brought Doug over with him for a meeting behind closed doors with my boss, Ray McKenzie. I was not in that meeting.
Okay.
I should have been.
Yeah, sounds like
because I brought it together.
Right.
And it was a 6-hour meeting. They ended up doing a multi-million-dollar deal.
Wow.
And I love Ray for this. Ray gave me $7K, and I said, thank you so much. And I said, you know what? He said, what else would you like to do here? Because he said, you're golden. You can do anything you want.
Amazing.
So I said, I want to start a record label.
Okay.
I want to start a hip-hop label.
Okay.
And I called it 321.
Okay.
And my first project was a compilation called Connected. And my second signing was Blackalicious.
Oh, wow.
And I signed a bunch of other artists after that.
Awesome.
So that was 3210 Hour.
Wow.
And that ended because of the rug being pulled from under us with the financing from Rising Tide.
I see.
So even though the hip-hop side was making money, the rock side wasn't.
I got it.
It was hemorrhaging.
Got it.
So I lost a job.
That's too
and
bad.
was let go, and that was that.
Right.
And at the time, this is 1999, guys, and at the time, mp3.com offered me a job. I started a label, so there was a publisher of a magazine called Stress.
I remember Stress.
And a guy called Ket Allen, who just opened up the Museum of Graffiti, by the way, in Miami.
Wow.
Publisher of Stress said, listen, because I had some angry artists. Remember, when 321 closed the doors, there were some artists in the studio, there were artists on the road, there were artists that were owed money for mixing, money for mastering.
Pay me. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't have any money.
Right.
Yeah,
I owned the label, but I didn't have the money. I wasn't the money bags, right?
Yeah.
So I was just the face.
Got
it actually.
So you went into hiding for a while.
I did.
I was joking.
No, I did.
Okay.
Well, to be very transparent and honest, I don't think I've ever told this. I actually went into hospital.
Oh, wow.
It put me, I was so stressed and in hiding and so scared for my life that I ended up getting a tumor, like a massive
Holy shit.
tumor.
Wow.
And they had to operate on me and found like a massive cyst and a massive tumor. And I was in
Wow.
hospital
Stress
for
is
about
crazy.
4 days and recovering for about 3 months.
Wow.
Coherent, even though recovering, I'm on my phone and I knew that there was potentially something going down.
Sure.
And it was this new label that was being birthed as I was in the hospital.
Okay.
And I found a guy from Wall Street, another Wall Street guy.
All right.
He put in about $250,000
All right.
to give me this label called Subverse.
Yeah, I remember Subverse.
Big Just came out with me and I said, look, I'm starting this label. Are you down? He said, hell to the yeah. We started the label together, Subverse.
Amazing.
Peter was my third partner, the money guy. And the first thing that we signed was MF Doom. That was Subverse. Our offices were down, and you know what's coming next, you guys. This is circa 2000.
Yeah.
We put out Operation Doomsday in 2000, so we just finished celebrating our 25th anniversary
Amazing.
of Operation Doomsday and KMD's Black Bastards. And then everything's going fabulously. We're making tons of money with Subverse.
Yeah.
We couldn't keep records on the store shelves.
Yeah.
Sadly, that was the end of Subverse, the demise.
I knew the Bloom effect is like booking a ton of bands everywhere.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty much doing concert promoting for the
What
longest
now?
time.
Like, what has it evolved into?
Well, it's a one-stop shop, basically, because of everything that I've done in my whole career. I basically thought to take pieces of that and put it into this agency that's sort of a, 360 full-service company that provides services to artists, mainly unsigned, independent artists in genres. I'm genre agnostic,
Yeah,
so
certainly.
across all forms of, of genres. So PR, marketing, playlist promotion, producing events, international strategy, branding. Because a lot of my clients do find me because it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
But some of them I find from being at shows, I'll be the last one at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Or early, the first one in the door, watching
Sure.
an open mic or somebody opening up for the opener,
Sure.
And or conferences, or festivals. So it's a mix of how I do the talent scouting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'm not on TikTok. The Bloom Effect is not on TikTok, but the Bloom Effect is on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
I have a YouTube channel. Fiona Bloom's everywhere too, because I also have a Twitter account as Fiona Bloom.
Okay.
And I'm quite hilarious actually on Instagram with my personal posts. Basically doing all their PR marketing, you know. So and mainly PR, you know, so just getting all the media outlets covering it, you know, whether it's touring, whether it's film screenings, and that's why I'm here in New York. There's a tour that's going off for the film Hung Up on a Dream, which is directed by Robert Schwartzman from Utopia Productions.
Okay.
You know, the zombies you've heard are no longer performing.
What is the name of the film again, and how can we see it?
Yeah, it's called Hung Up on a Dream. Hopefully it's going to go to a streamer at some point. At the moment, it's in select theaters, probably through the rest of the summer.
Anything you want to add?
Wow, I mean, just that this has been really fun.
Yeah, man.
You know, I like to have blasts from the past.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
This has
Thank
been
you
awesome.
guys.
Appreciate you.
Love it. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yay.